Hello happy viewer, DJ80 here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Equinox Interceptor Mark II light. So here's the boxes that they came in. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this video was because I couldn't find a video of these in real life action. I saw the promo videos from Equinox, but I wanted to see what one would look like in a real life environment. And also I just wanted to get an idea of its actual size, because without a proper review video it's hard to know just how big it was. In the pictures that I've seen on the adverts, it looks quite small, so it suited my needs that I wanted. Obviously there are other similar lights that you can get, derby effect lights, and many of them might be a bit bigger. Plenty of them will be a bit cheaper. These were £67 each, but I'll show you shortly where I got them from and the deal that I got. But price point wasn't my priority when getting these. My priority was portability and the actual effect that you get from the light. So on this occasion eBay was no good for me. Not every DJ shop seems to have these lights for sale. But a handful of good ones do, and I chose to buy these from Simply Sound Limited. And I actually bought them via Amazon, and here's the advert for the product. I bought them last Thursday, the 9th of November, and I'm recording this particular bit of video on Wednesday the 15th of November. So here's the advert. As you can see, it's £139 for two lights, and you also get a DMX lead. Now the advert only had two pictures. It was that one and that one, which is a bag as well. So I thought for £139 I was going to be getting the bag plus two lights and a DMX lead, and I thought that was a good deal. So I went ahead and made the purchase last Thursday, and it did say when I made the purchase via Amazon that the product would be delivered between the 13th and the 16th of November, which was Monday and Thursday, and they came on the Tuesday, so they were within their delivery time scale. So this is where I got it from, Simply Sound. When the product arrived, I opened it and had a look, and it turned out that the bag wasn't included. So I emailed Simply Sound, and they've got back to me today. I emailed them last night, and they basically said it's a problem with the Amazon listing and that the bag isn't included in the purchase. However, on this occasion they'll be sending me out a bag. It's a slightly different bag to the one on the picture apparently, but they're going to send it out because obviously it was included in the advert. So I'd like to say that's a thumbs up to Simply Sound for doing that, because obviously they didn't have to. I didn't tell them that I was going to be doing a review of the light either, so they didn't know that the decision that they made would be broadcasted on YouTube at some point. So they went ahead and they've said to me they'll send a bag out as is displayed on the advert. So yeah, big well done to Simply Sound for that. And right, let's go on and have a look at the actual lights and what we get inside. Here's what I got in my purchase. You get one interceptor light, you get one power lead and one manual. So that's what we get in each box. And then of course with my package I got the DMX lead and a bag to follow. So looking at the unit, if we just start with the back, we've got a power in option. We've also got a power out option as well, so we can daisy chain them. We've got our standard little DMX menu here, and you've also got DMX out and DMX in. For DMXing, we have our mic input here, and a little bolt there to run a safety chain through. It has a little handle at the top, and it's also got four little feet at the bottom as well, so they've obviously thought about standing this on the ground too. Its size is actually quite small now that I've measured it. It's a fraction under 22 centimeters wide, From front to back it's about 18-19 centimeters, and the unit, excluding the handle, is only, what's that there, 14, say 15 centimeters high. So it is a nice tidy little unit, and it's not very heavy at all, probably about the weight of a bag of sugar maybe. And one thing that I was a bit surprised at, now that I've looked at it, is the handle at the top. So stupidly I assumed that handle might be big enough to reach all the way around to the back, or well, I was just hoping that it was going to be a bit bigger than that, because I'm kind of limited a little bit on how I can mount it. But I'll work through it. I'm going to set up my micron booth in just a moment, and we'll see where we can put these lights on and see them in action. But yeah, it's a nice tidy piece of equipment so far. Here are the lights on my Equinox micron booth, and I've just connected them up and done the master and slave, and this is the lights on. So I've got both lights on in the lounge, and as you can see, the beams are nice and sharp. Quite impressed. Let's try it with the lights off. Okay, the next time we'll see them will be when I do a disco with them. Okay, so this is the light set up on the lighting bar. This is a school hall, and I would say it's probably, well, I'll go stand right at the back. So I can't get any children in the video clip, obviously. So this is the length of the hall. This is the back end, and there's the lights, and I'll do it from the other end as well. Okay, and this is the other end where the disco is. So I'm going to quickly turn the lights out and show you the throw.
Yes. I think so.
30 seconds. Okay, so I'm at the back of the hall again, and this is the throw. And as you can see, and I'll just do a quick shot from this end. So from behind the booth, this is what I can see. And so to the conclusion then. As I mentioned earlier in the video, a little bugbear is the scratches and the marks that you get on the lenses. Actually can't see them too badly at the moment, and I think it's kind of a common thing with all of these types of lights. Price point, £67 or thereabouts each for one of these. I think personally it's just slightly overpriced. If you look at the fact that on eBay you can get similar cheap lights, and you can probably buy 2 cheap lights and have change for the price of one of these, is something that you might weigh up. Now, if I'd seen these out and about and I'd seen another DJ using them, and then I came home and I saw a package online that said 2 of these, a DMX cable and a bag for £100. I'd click it straight off the bat, no problem. And perhaps I'm being a little bit greedy there. Maybe 2 of these and a DMX lead for £100 I think is fair play. So it's $49.99 I reckon. If they sold these at $49.99 they'd fly off the shelves, but I'm doing this video a week before Black Friday, so we don't know. There might be some bargains to be had. One of the other negative points for me was the brackets. So I had to I did where you saw the demo, these was a school disco. It was a double disco, and I knew I only had half an hour from the moment I could get in, because they had a Pilates class going on. I had half an hour to set up before the first disco was due to start. So I had to pre-wire these on my overhead bar on the Thursday, and I was really limited on how I could do it. So I did have them hanging underneath to start off with, but they just slightly got caught on there, so I didn't have the option. This is an Equinox Micron booth overhead bar, and I didn't have the option to turn them left or right, so I ended up mounting them on the top part of the bar, so they were actually upside down. And if they could just work out some way of making that bracket bigger or at the sides or somewhere else, it would mean more flexibility on where you can put the light. But I'll leave that to the boffins to sort out. But I think probably that is my biggest issue with the product itself. So do think about that if you're going to buy one, where you're going to mount it, because that bracket at the top there doesn't move all the way to the back of the unit, even when you have it right down. So on to the positives. Well, they did what I needed them to do. I bought them specifically for the school discos. I find that these lights tend to chuck out, well, they tend to appeal to the children, perhaps more than adults, just because of the way that they work, and that they throw out light in all sorts of different angles and up and down, and they flash and stuff. And I've had 2 lights like these before, which were beams, the BEAMZ make that you can get. And a couple of years ago I had 2 of those, which I used to use for children's parties, and they were good enough. And so I can compare the 2, and I can say quite confidently that these are much better. The beams are brighter, and there's a really strong beam even at the back of the room, and that was the sports hall at the school that you saw the video clip from, and there was no smoke, there was no haze. I don't use that, and that was the light that you saw just from the lights. And I actually, when I did that clip, it was in between the junior disco and the senior disco, and I had less than 15 minutes to do the clip. So after I took the clip, I quickly rushed back to the booth and prepared the next 2 songs, or the first 2 songs for the next disco. And about 5 minutes later, I went back out into the hall, to the back of the hall, just to check the volume levels, and realised that I hadn't switched the moving heads on. But they were so good, these lights, that they were filling the dance floor, and the kids hadn't noticed, and I hadn't noticed. So there's a great effect there, and it is worth having those extra powerful LEDs in these units. Another positive is that they're small, they're easily portable, and they're nice and light. So they're easy to set up, and it gives you a few options when you want to try out a different look with your rig. I'd also like to say a big thanks to Simply Sound. This is the bag they sent me. They did email me and say it won't be the same one as in the picture, and they sent it by my Hermes. It's got these dividers that you can move around in it. So my overall conclusion, yes, I'm happy with this purchase, the bag, the lights, and the service that I got. The lights performed better than I thought they would. Nice and bright, great effect. They look quite mean on the overhead bar as well. The other added bonus is, if I don't like them in 6 months to a year's time, I'm probably likely to be able to sell them on for £30 a pop, I reckon. So I'm not losing too much on my original investment either. I'd recommend these to someone that's looking to purchase these type of lights and keeping them for a while, because they are good effects and they do what you need them to do. And yeah, that's my conclusion. So well done, Equinox. That's the Equinox Interceptor Mk II. Thanks for watching. I've been DJ80. Please, if you liked this video or found it helpful, click on my latest track, which is Nodding to the Good Men. Thanks very much. Bye.